whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.gh1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
I'm attorney Gavin Richard. I grew up here in New Orleans, so I know how important family, friends, and community are to us. And helping others has been a lifelong passion of mine. If you've been injured in an accident, you may be out of work and faced with large medical bills. You'll need someone to fight the insurance companies so that you can get on with your life. Give me a call at 504-799-2288, and I'll be with you all the way. The law offices of Gavin M. Richard, going the distance so that justice may be served.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Today is an early edition of Random Topic Tuesdays here on channel gboot2786. And if it's Tuesday, then the place to be is right here with me, ladies and gentlemen, on my YouTube channels, gboot2786, Gavin Richard, which is our backup channel, Facebook on Gavin Richard, and GavinRich2786 on Twitter. Today's broadcast, we will go over and discuss the following. Travis Scott, this is a continuation on Travis Scott, Drake, and Live World being sued over the AstroWorld tragedy. We also have conspiracy theories that swarm over AstroWorld tragedy we'll be discussing. Also, Jack Strain, former Sheriff Jack Strain, I should say, found guilty on all counts of sexual abuse in St. Tammany Parish, and the Ahmaud Arbery trial fiasco. Now, those of you who are new to me, I have several requests that you could do if you would like to support this channel. Please donate to the Cash App link at the bottom. You see at there, GavinRichardEsq, Google Pay and PayPal, as well as Zelle. You can contribute to the channel there. You can also go to this link here, which you want to get premium content from our Patreon. That link is available for all of you right there. You see it at the bottom. Also, I would like, if you would care, if you're into food and culinary skills, you want to tighten it up, look at this website for my seasoning company, NawniesCreoleBlends.com. NawniesCreoleBlends.com. You can try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawnies goes great with every dish. So you check that out. And also, you know, I'm into music. We have several singles that are available, including Video Soul. You could check that out. That's available on Amazon, Spotify, and I'm sorry, I keep getting these notifications that interrupt me. Amazon, Spotify, and iTunes, as well as our theme song. Before we get on down, we always get on up. So I'm going to look no further to us playing Get On Up right now, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll get started with the show. So sit back, relax. It's going to be a great program on tonight's channel. So you be safe. Oh, why is this coming up? Excuse me 1 second. I hate every time I log into this damn thing and it has this come up. So of course I trust it. It's my own computer, damn it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that interruption. Let's get on up.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat. Cause on the dance floor is where we'll be. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the
Oh, baby, yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. We got to get on up. What's up, everybody? Yes, I'm doing this broadcast from the room right now. I know you're used to seeing the green screen behind me, but sometimes, especially when I start working, because I work from home, I'm just chillaxed in one place. So I'm coming back here, and plus it's a lot cooler where I am than on that part of the house. So what's up, everybody? Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Let everybody know we're hot in here. All my moderators, shout out to everybody that's here joining me for this early broadcast. We're going to get right into it. I forgot and I needed to play the trailer for the book. I play that all the time. I'll play that in a little bit. But let's see who we got in the. Danielle is here. Butterfly 70. What's up? Thank you for your contribution. Yeah, well, you live in Colorado, so the Rockies, ski resorts. That's naturally it's cold up there. A mile high city, Denver. What's up, Lamiko? What's up, everybody? Let's go ahead and get into it. What's up, Carla? I see Stacy Quentin is here. Oh, got quite a few people. It's not hot in Louisiana, actually. No, it's actually gotten a little bit cooler with the cool fronts, but it's not blistering cold or anything like that. We still temperatures could still be mild, and right now I can tell that the sun is about to go down because it's cloudy. So there's no telling what fronts and stuff are on this way. Usually they come by the weekend time. Oh man, I don't know what's going on. I'm having some. Hold on a second. I have all of the stuff pulled up that I want to talk about, but I'm trying to log in to share this on Facebook and get the link so different people can come in. And apparently it's not letting me to right now at the moment. To answer your question, Cheryl, the book, you go to Facebook, the Facebook page, Commonwealth Cause, and that's another thing. I'm trying to get this damn thing to work now so that I can click on everything. You guys can see it, but the page is unresponsive. Okay. So I'm going to have to open up another link for you guys to go in. Yeah. Well, what you are going to do, give me 1 second. When the book is available on Amazon, you'll be able to buy it directly through Amazon. I don't have it available for pre-order because, again, my legal team are still looking over the book. I, of course, want this release. I said it will be released by the fall because it's ready. But, when you're relying on your attorneys and people to look over stuff to make sure everything is cleared and they don't respond to you quickly like you want, there are issues. But, it's not an issue, but, I'm thankful that my lawyer is doing this because he's, watching my ass, and that's what you got to do. But the book will be available. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Yeah, I'm having a hard time. My pages are unresponsive for whatever reason here. Somebody's playing some games on me. But you'll be able to purchase the book, Cheryl, on Amazon. So when it's available on Amazon, everybody here, everybody on the live stream will be the first to know. But go to that Facebook page. The username is at COMM, Commonwealth Cause. That's what the tag is to go on the Facebook page. That's right. Attorneys have attorneys. You're absolutely correct. Guys, I apologize. We're having some technical difficulties right now because I'm trying to pull up this page and it's not allowing me to. It's stuck. I don't know what's wrong. Be damned. All right. Well, look, I'm going to go ahead. Let's just get into it, what we're going to talk about. I didn't have a particular order, but let me start with this. Of course, conspiracy theories that swarm over the AstroWorld tragedy. Now, Most of you already know, unless you've been living under a rock, about the incident, tragedy that took place this past weekend out in Houston, where rapper Travis Scott, along with Drake and a few others, were performing, where a crowd of at least 50,000 people were present. And somehow or another, according to fire marshals, a surge occurred, which resulted in the deaths of eight people and 308 people ages from 14 to 27, and 8 people were killed, as well as 300 injured, some even going into cardiac arrest. I believe there's a 9-year-old, Queen Amadaya was even talking about earlier on her program, who actually is in an medically induced coma as a result of his injuries. And it appears most of those people, especially when something like that happens, it's from their deaths result from asphyxiation, especially if they're being trampled over, if they're being crushed, your ribs, you're not able to breathe. This is a Windows, Carla. Oh, Bossa Queenie is listening while working. Well, that's good. So there are some conspiracy theories that have been swirling around the internet, especially with regards to this incident, that his death was these deaths were a sacrificial offering to the devil, especially how, people are alleging on TikTok how the stage was set in an inverted cross. People reported demons walking outside on top of the stage, on top on top of the stage, how it was shaped like the portal of hell. All these other theories going around, even people saying they saw souls being snatched out. Now, I'm trying to share this article. Okay. You know what I'm going to have to do, guys, because we're having a technical issue. I'm going to have to close everything and come back in. So this is going to take me a few minutes, but I'm trying to make sure this is right because everything is just at a standstill and it shouldn't be like that. So I apologize for the technical difficulty. Allow me to close my browsers out, but I'm going to be right back in it. So give me about, I'll say 3 to 5 minutes. We'll be right back. Okay. I'll be right back. All right, I think we're back now. So hope you guys are still there. I see Boston Queenie stayed. Darius from Atlanta. What's up, my dude? Darius is here. Davita Jenkins. Butterfly stayed. Yeah, please come in, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, guys. Yeah, so I had to restart the program a little bit, take our intermission. So yeah, so we're talking about the conspiracy theories that swarm over the AstroWorld tragedy. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys something. You know who is happy that all of this attention right now is on Travis Scott and not on them? It's this guy. This is who's the happiest person right now. Alec Baldwin is happy because all of that shit that was going on with Alec Baldwin. No, it's not Biden. With that accidental shooting that took place on that set. You said Will, like Will Smith. I mean, Will is still trying to stay in the news because I saw he's actually going to Oprah talking about his relationship with Jada. Will is going to be set up for a Me Too scandal. Yeah, no, Alec Baldwin, because he actually, I don't think he did it on purpose and killed that woman, but that's very similar to what happened with Brandon Lee back in 1994, 1993. I remember when that incident happened, but man, they are going so hard on Travis Scott right now. It ain't even funny, and I'm going to show some videos. Now, I'm not a Travis Scott fan. I can't honestly tell you what his biggest rap hit is. I don't like most of these. I don't like these mumble rappers. I don't care for him. I know he's married. Well, he's not married, but he's in there with the Kardashians and so forth. I mean, everybody that mess with them men. Yeah, Will does need a bad distraction. What I was gonna say is everybody that messes with those men, with those women, something bad happens to them. Either you OD or you lose your dick. One of the two. Whatever it is, I don't want to mess with them. So, at any rate, you have a lot of conspiracy theories, and I'm going to show you a video right now. I don't know who this person is. Everybody claims they're Travis Scott's manager at this festival. Let me say this, and I've said this before. This incident is not the first that has happened in history. Travis Scott is not the only person, is not the only performer, rock and roll, rap, hip hop, whatever, where people in the crowd have died. There's been a surge where there's a crowd surge and people are pushing all the way to get up to the front and they stampede over people. This has happened before. I told you on Sunday's broadcast what happened in 1979 in Cincinnati, where the Who were performing and there was a disaster, and people got there a little earlier than what the show was starting. They gave the wrong time and so forth, and there was only 2 doors that were open, and at that point the entire crowd surged and pushed towards the doors that were open, and they started trampling on people, and 26 people were injured, 11 people died. But also what happened subsequent to that is that the show went on. Now you got people that talk about how Travis Scott, he continued to perform after all of this, like he didn't care. And I don't, you got to realize too, if you've ever been to a live event, you can't even hear the person next to you. So if you got 50,000 people or more screaming, plus the music in the back, I don't think Scott can hear what's going on. And I saw these fools dancing on top of the ambulance, one fool dancing on top of the ambulance that's trying to get into the crowd. And I saw Scott did stop, and he was trying to direct attention. And eventually the concert did stop. There are video footage of people that subsequently has come out of trying to get the attention of the cameraman. But I want to show you this. So I just actually turned this on, and I don't even know who this person is. Well, exactly. And the whole thing about the portal to hell and so forth. I don't know all about that exactly. I've seen that, and yeah, Hollywood, I know is they call it the devil's playground, but I want y'all to listen to this. This guy claims to be
With the
Travis Scott's ex-manager. I don't know who he is, but it's got over 209,000 views just today. He just uploaded it today, and I don't know who the Anderson family is, but they've made a lot of money, a lot of views off of this. But this is a less than 2 minute clip.
Travis Scott is the worst person I worked with in my entire career in music.
Oh wow!
8 people are dead and hundreds more are injured after Travis Scott's callous, reckless behavior at AstroWorld. And I hate to be the one saying this, but I saw this coming and I tried to tell everyone. The story that D-Dot is telling is true. I'm Travis Scott's former manager. I'm the one who had a seizure, and I'm the one that he left for dead in a basement in Los Angeles. I originally told my account in 2013, and then it recirculated on Reddit about 6 years ago.
Okay, let me just say that. Let me stop right there. So, by the way, fair use under the Copyright Act of 1976. It does allow for fair use purposes for commentary and education, which is what this video is doing. So he said he was left for dead and injured in a basement. And he said he told his story. Now, I noticed here, let me just rewind. It looks like, I don't know if you can read that, but this guy claims he posted this, but this looks like this is on a Facebook page. If Travis Scott did anything to you, sir, and I don't know what you're saying is true or false, so I'm not trying to say you're lying, but did you file what charge? What exactly did he do? Because I didn't hear that. He said he left you for dead. If he didn't assault you or anything, did you actually file a police report? If he did assault you, did you complain about this to the arresting officer? See, we have to go through and ask these questions. So y'all see the dog piling. This is just me. I could be wrong, but the dog piling has started. So let's continue with the video. I'm going to play it all the way through.
I'm Travis Scott's former manager. I'm the one who had a seizure, and I'm the one that he left for dead in a basement in Los Angeles.
I believe his name
I originally
is Shane
told my
Morris.
account in 2013, and then it recirculated on Reddit about 6 years ago. The stories coming out of AstroWorld and all the videos documenting the evidence are quite clear, and they align
if y'all notice,
with what I know about Travis Scott. When he sees people in harm or danger, he tends to only continue thinking about himself. And to make it worse, he's been doing this for years at other concerts. I could go assault and all the lies that he's told in his career, but that's this. I think it's time to spill a little tea, as the kids on the internet say, and I don't mind doing this because Travis Scott is genuinely a horrible person. So in 2009, when I met Travis Scott, I was running a site called earmilk.com with my friends Trey and Blake. And I was a junior level software engineer, and I had just finished working for MySpace Music. So I worked in the technology side of music. For Travis, what we did was fake his popularity. I programmed a fleet of SoundCloud bots to artificially inflate his play counts on SoundCloud. This told record label executives that he was much more popular than he actually was. We also did the same thing early on with Twitter. You may have noticed, and somebody made a joke about it, that his early followers could make an omelet because they were all eggs. We used software to enhance his visibility.
Okay. What the fuck that's got to do with the concert? How's that criminal? Is that criminal?
The wrong means.
That's not criminal. You say you heard what he said he did. So fucking what? They are out for blood. You're all right, Tina Ferguson. Now, let me get to the satanic conspiracy theories that has been swirling. And look, like I said, the Who incident was one that happened. You also had in 2000 the Roscoe Festival. You had the Love Parade disaster in 2010. So there have been countless incidents. I mean, where someone has died at a dance music festival. I mean, there were 21 people that were killed. Now, this was in Germany. And I'm going to combine these two. I have two separate topics, but I have essentially, I'm going to merge all of them in because Scott is being sued, and I'm going to show you who the attorneys for that is. But let me go to Newsweek now, and show you this video that they have here that was circulating, and a couple of other things too, because I see the people that come out, and you got to be careful. And this is not not me saying that some of this may or may not be true. You know, if I believe in, if there's a God, there's a devil. If there's a devil, that means there's a God, and I believe in God. So yeah, I do believe conspiracies do happen. I've heard for years how Hollywood was the devil. They called it the devil's playground. You look at the stuff that they put out on television today. It's not positive. It's certainly demonic. I mean, even Eddie Murphy, if you saw Comedians in Cars with Jerry Seinfeld, he talked about how Sammy Davis Jr. approached him and said, you know, Satan is just as powerful as God, man. You know, I think, you know, Sammy Davis Jr. was into that a little bit for a well-being. And Eddie Murphy even said he stopped fucking with him after that. Excuse my French, but yeah, let's go ahead. No, I wasn't. Now they point to his shirt. Hold on. They point to the shirt. They point about the stage that he was in that was inverted cross. I saw Queen Amadaya. Shout out to her. And let me be clear. I love the Queen. This is not a knock on her or anything like that. I'm just saying I'm a little skeptical about him. I don't believe he went there to kill people. I did see the stage.
Crowd began to compress towards the front of the stage. Okay, and that caused some panic.
You know, last night was tragic on many different levels.
I'm honestly just devastated. I could never imagine anything like this just happening.
So Drake was there. Y'all see Drake. Now, I heard the song. It says like, I thought they said soul snatcher. Am I right? Y'all can't read this, but Drake released a statement. He says, I've spent the past few days trying to wrap my mind around this devastating tragedy. I hate resorting to this platform to express an emotion as delicate as grief, but this is where I find myself. My heart is broken for the families and friends of those who lost their lives and for anyone who's suffering. I will continue to pray for all of them and will be of service in any way I can. May God be with you all. Now, I did see the inverted cross butterflies that everybody was talking about, the stage. You know, they had this video up. Hold on. They had this up. What's up, Rashana? Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Well, that's even worse, Davida. I don't listen to mumble rappers. I'm sorry, I don't listen to hip hop anymore. I'm not gonna say I don't put. Now look, we got to be careful about what we say. I don't, you know, things like this happen. If that's the case, Brother Darius, what about what happened with the Who in 1979? They didn't have injections, to my knowledge. You know, was that devil worship that caused that? Was that Satan? Or what happened, like I pointed out, at these parades? I mean, tragedies like this sadly happen. And that's not to say things are not possible. I mean, look, we all know about Lil Nas X.
So yeah, a lot of those celebrities, do they participate in stuff like this? Yeah. And yeah, conspiracies are real. If two fools go and knock off a liquor store, they get charged with criminal conspiracy of robbery. So that stuff does happen. They got crushed. Crushed can cause that blood clots and getting crushed and not being able to breathe if you're being smothered to death, that can cause you to go into cardiac arrest. Any type of excitement can cause you to go into cardiac arrest. What's up, DeAndre? Now, Travis Scott, I will say in fairness, and I think this was a wise thing he's doing, they are refunding everyone who attended, who purchased the tickets there. He's giving them all their money back. And he has also stated that he's going to pay for the funeral of all of the 8 individuals that were killed. So this is what everybody's pointing out to. That's the stage. And going to a portal through hell with the flame and smokes. What else? I mean, it's just the dog. My thing is, it's the dog piling that's going on. He's gonna be sued, along with Live Nation and Drake, because this stuff goes on. That happens. This is a lawyer's. I hate to say it, but this is an attorney's meal. And I'm not trying to disparage because I'm a lawyer, but this is a big win for any attorney that picks up just one of these cases, one of these clients, one of those individuals that were there. They're gonna get a lot of money from that. The lawsuits are piling up. You see that right there. And I've seen the videos of people saying this. Let's go and look at something I want to point out. Well, Sammy was part of devil worship. He was best friends with Aleister Crowley, who was the leader of the St. Luciferian Church. Yeah, they're going in on him. But hold on a second. Now, in fairness, he's offering to pay for this, but Travis Scott also, just speaking from a legal perspective, he has faced charges before. He was arrested twice on multiple occasions for back in 2015 at Lollapalooza in Chicago, telling the crowd, point the middle finger up to security right now before leading his fans in the chant of "We Want Rage," rushing people and people rushed to the stage. And let me rephrase that. Nobody was injured at that time, as the authorities quickly intervened to stop the concert. So they stopped the concert. He pled guilty to reckless conduct charges and was sentenced to 1 year of supervised probation or court supervision. 1 year. Let me rephrase. I got to rephrase all that because when I say probation or supervision, some people may conflate those things, and I'm not trying to do that. He was arrested a second time in a concert in Arkansas when the Rogers Police Department, we'll go right here. I'm going to share all of this with you so y'all know where I'm reading at, where people rushed the stage and he encouraged them during the show, and he was charged with 3 misdemeanors for disorderly conduct, inciting a riot, and endangering the welfare of a minor at that time. But 2 of the charges were dropped, the latter 2, the inciting a riot and endangering the welfare, and he pled guilty only to disorderly conduct as part of the plea deal. And you had people that were injured at that concert. So that does happen. But my thing is that, okay, being that does take place, and they're going back. They got receipts on Travis. They're going back
I want chaos. Don't you get them off. Don't you get them off. Let's go. They're not going to stop you. Mike, get down there. Everybody that you see, grab him. Everybody that you see, grab him. He got you. They not going to stop you. Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, they're going in on him.
Hey. Don't you handle them like that. Tell them the fuck go. Everybody in the green shirt, get the fuck back. Middle finger up to security right now.
Now, I'm playing all of that. I want to be careful because that I don't get a copyright strike with music. But, you know, they're doing all of that right now. I mean, they got receipts on him going back to 2015. So if they're going all the way back, they're trying to show that he has a pattern. Now, I'm sure Texas has this just like they have in Louisiana. There is something called inciting a felony, which is a crime. When you incite someone to break the law, you can be charged with that. So those things do happen. It's a part of what we call the in cahoot offenses, where it's more than one person involved. So, like I said, criminal conspiracies do happen. Yes, conspiracies like JFK, MLK, Malcolm X, whoever, those things are possible because it happens all the time in America, in this country. But I don't know directly if Travis Scott, you know, I see the flames being shot up, and I did see someone pointed to the video where it looked like a demon was walking across the portal. But, you know, when you looked at the photograph too, it could have been a hologram that they had within the a computer design that they had on the stage. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just looking at it. And I'm just saying, from my perspective, this is a dog pile. Now, I know the lawsuits will come, but already, let's just switch to this topic. I'm going to play a little bit of the video. Y'all look at the top of this. They say whether he could be charged again. We want rage. So they could very well use this against him. So they're wondering, would he be charged with it? Houston Fire Chief Samuel Penner said many of the injuries sustained at Scott's concert were caused by the audience pressing towards the front of the stage. And that caused some panic and started causing some injuries. Now, here, Houston Police Chief Troy Finner released a statement following the incident, noting that he had a brief and respectful conversation with Travis before AstroWorld Festival to discuss his concerns. I met with Travis Scott and his head of security for a few moments last Friday prior to the main event, Finner said in a written statement on November 8, 2021. I expressed my concerns regarding public safety and that in my 31 years of law enforcement experience, I've never seen a time with more challenges facing citizens of all ages. Wow. Now, let me also share this. In Travis's case, there are pictures of rushing the VIP section, from my understanding. There was videos that were being shared of people stampeding early on to get inside the festival. So look at this. This is from the Independent. So you had people, this was before Travis Scott even took place. His performance even took place. You see this still of people running. I'm going to play the video. The hell's going on? I like hot cocoa too.
Aaliyah.
Now y'all look at this. Now look, they're climbing over the fence. People just rushing through. Look, security is right there. They're not even going. They're going through the metal detectors. They're not even checking that. No, not enough crowd control. Now, I'm going to stop sharing that, and I want to share with you this because the lawsuits that are pending. I want you to look who's taking on the case now in Houston. He's a popular attorney. You all see this here, but none other than Tony Busby. Tony Busby is handling, that's him there. He is handling a lawsuit for at least 35 plus concert goers that attended who were injured. And they're representing one of the family of Axel Acosta, a 21-year-old man who attended the festival at NRG Park with his brother. I remember I told you earlier this week that there was a lawsuit that was filed that Saturday. So now Busby is coming in representing the rest of these families. And I guess this is a clip from the press conference. Now, you all know who Tony Busby is. He represents those women that accuse Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct and filed lawsuits on behalf, those masseuses. So you knew he smelt this. He smelt money when this came.
This is Edgar Acosta. This is Joel Acosta, Cynthia Acosta, and Jesus Acosta. On November 5th, 2021, more than 50,000, mostly young people, attended what was supposed to be a two-day concert event known as AstroWorld, put on by Travis Scott and the other defendants in this case. During the first night of the concert,
y'all notice
8
that
of the concert goers died.
He didn't mention the other defendants. He just mentioned Travis.
And scores of others suffered significant injuries. One of those killed was 21-year-old Axel Acosta. Axel died as a result of the phenomenon known as crowd rush. Crowd rush occurs when you have an extremely large and high-density crowd moving in one direction in a confined space. People involved in a crowd rush get carried by a river of people uncontrollably. Importantly, people that have been involved in crowd rush typically do not die from being trampled. They die from what is known as compressive asphyxiation, from the sheer force all the way the body is being stacked on top of them. This is exactly what happened to Axel. The immense force of the unruly and out of control crowd, created by the defendant's gross negligence, created such significant pressure onto his body that he could not breathe. The air was literally slowly squeezed out of him.
something he does annually, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you, Superstar Bella. That's something he does annually with Live Nation and the AstroWorld. They're the patron for that, but he runs the festival. So if he's an official on it in any shape, way, shape, or form, because he runs it, that's why he's liable. That's why they act. Well, I should say not liable because he hasn't been charged, but civilly liable, but no lawsuits. The lawsuits naming him also because of his name. He's the big star there. Him and Drake. Now Drake has nothing, I don't think, to do with it. Drake was just a guest. But yeah, 300 people being treated for injuries, 11 going into cardiac arrest, 8 people dying. So this is sadly going to be something we could see. Not to forget, also you had guards being pricked with one guard who got pricked with a needle through the neck, which was something else. I never heard of something like that. But another main thing you got to look at it too. When you see that picture, you notice of the 8 victims, they were all not black. So they were all not black. But in fairness, Travis Scott, he has stated he's willing to pay. He's going to pay all their burial costs. He was going to take care of the attendees. I just want to show y'all. Look what TMZ's got right now. They really going after him. Travis Scott attended AstroWorld after party at Dave & Buster's. Says he was unaware of tragedy. Now, the sources say he wasn't aware of the severity of the situation when he arrived at the party. As far as timing, this remains consistent with the fact that no one, including the police, have publicly confirmed the gravity of events that had taken place. Yeah, but this is TMZ. Y'all a bitch for this. They are a bitch for this. Yeah, but look, I'm gonna wrap it up on this one, but I'm gonna try and get into our next topics. I'm not muted. So let's move on to my next topic, guys. But this is gonna be interesting. I want to talk about this. Sheriff Jack Strain found guilty on all counts of sexual abuse. Now, those that don't know, whoever's from Louisiana, Jack Strain at one point was the sheriff of St. Tammany Parish, and he had been in trial these last week and a half with allegations that he was facing of allegations of sexual assault against several individuals, all of whom were minors at the time, including abusing people at his sheriff's station using his work release program to commit acts what they include of rape and molestation of multiple children over the course of decades. Over the 2-week trial, the state prosecutors portrayed Slane as a master manipulator and sexual predator, preying on young boys left in his care since he was a teenager. So he was found guilty of 4 counts of aggravated rape, 2 counts of aggravated incest, 1 count of, that means he did it against a relative, 1 count each of sexual battery and indecent behavior with a juvenile. He'll be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole when the sentencing is set for January 18. So we go to WWL with the latest.
Former St. Tammany Sheriff Jack Strain has been found guilty as charged. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for watching. I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Sharice Gibson. After 2 weeks of emotional testimony from victims and more than 5 hours of deliberation, Strain now faces life in prison for his 8 sex crimes charges.
Strain was found guilty on all 8 of the counts. That's 4 counts of aggravated rape, 2 counts of aggravated incest, indecent behavior with a juvenile, and sexual battery. We do have team coverage from Covington tonight. Paul Dudley has more from the DA, but first we're going to speak with Erica Ferrando. She has covered this trial gavel to gavel, heard all the testimony. So let's go to Erica for the latest.
Katie, we have heard very graphic and emotional testimonies from those 5 male victims. And today, after 5 hours of deliberation, a jury found Jack Strain guilty on all counts.
The evidence was compelling. The evidence was overwhelming. The evidence was convincing.
District Attorney Warren Montgomery said justice has been served following jurors returning a guilty verdict in a matter of hours in the trial for Jack Strain. The jury unanimously found the former St. Tammany Parish Sheriff guilty as charged for 8 counts of sex crimes, including aggravated rape and aggravated incest.
Jack Strain was a very powerful and influential individual. This was a high-stakes prosecution, and I'd like to commend these 2 prosecutors for their courage in taking on this case.
5 victims testified in the 2-week-long trial, offering graphic, detailed recounts of their abuse by the former sheriff. The abuse happened as far back as the late 70s when Strain was a teenager, and as recently as 2004 when he was serving as sheriff. 3 of the victims are relatives.
One of the interesting aspects to this case is that, as painful as this process has been for the victims, for some of the victims at least, it's been very therapeutic because they finally had their time in which they could speak about what they suffered, what happened to them.
When I asked Montgomery if he believes there are more victims, he offered a quick affirmative yes.
There were some other victims that contacted us, and but we didn't feel that we needed them at this particular point in time. We felt we could achieve justice, and frankly, it's very painful for victims to testify in a public forum.
Jack Strain is now in custody. Sentencing is set for January 18th, and he does face life in prison for this guilty verdict. Jack Strain, his family, and some of the victims and their families were in the courtroom. Paul Dudley was also there. And Paul, we saw just the reaction from not only Strain, but also these victims.
Yeah, and you know, Jack Strain could be seen after the verdict was read, removing his glasses and wiping tears away from his face. He could also be seen hugging his friends and family, including his wife, Lisa Strain. Here's some video here of Lisa Strain leaving the courthouse. She covered her face and walked quickly to her car. She did not speak to reporters about what had happened. About 30 minutes later, Pat Finn left the courthouse. She is the mother of Mark Finn, a victim who testified Strain raped him beginning at the age of 6. Finn is the only victim we are naming because he already publicly told his story on WWL TV. Here is his mother's reaction to the verdict.
They found Jack Strain guilty, guilty, guilty. He won't be able to hurt nobody else, no other child, to go through what Mark and his other victims went through. And I thank God. I prayed so hard when the verdict was said, I thought I was dreaming. I kept on asking people beside me, did I hear right? Please tell me I heard right. And they said, yeah, Miss Pat, he is guilty.
There were also a number of community advocates who reacted to the verdict as well. We heard from a woman named Belinda Parker Brown. She is with a group called Louisiana United International. She said that this is an important moment for the victims and their families, but she also said it is a moment that is long overdue.
What was going through my head that is well overdue? Justice for the people in this parish was overwhelming. I'm very incredibly emotional because it hurts so bad when we have powerful people in position that betray our trust.
Jack Strain left the courthouse, headed to the St. Tammany Parish Jail. Eventually, after the sentencing phase, he will head to a correctional facility. And as Erica stated earlier, he faces life in prison without the possibility of parole. I'm Paul Dudley reporting Eyewitness News. Back to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's interesting about Jack Strain is that I remember when he was sheriff of St. Tammany and he made these comments. He said the following back in June of 2006 in regards to those Katrinians from New Orleans. This is what Jack Strain said, and this is why I have no sympathy for him. He made this remark.
There's been an increase in crime in New Orleans, so some people are fleeing to nearby St. Tammany Parish, but the sheriff there is not exactly welcoming them. Here's Sheriff Jack Strain in a TV interview.
I don't get into calling people names and all of that fact, but if you're gonna walk the streets of St. Tammany Parish with dreadlocks and chiwi hairstyles, then you can expect to be getting a visit from a sheriff's deputy.
Chiwi hairstyles? Well, that got writer Jimmy Israel thinking.
The Katrina Love Fest is over, and
He said, I don't get into calling people names and all of that fact, but if you're going to walk the streets of St. Tammany Parish with dreadlocks and chiwi hairstyles, then you can expect to be getting a visit from a sheriff's deputy. Well, what I will say now, of course, Jack Strain didn't want anybody with chiwi hairstyles in his parish. He's about to go to the chiwi hairstyle capital of the world. He's going to be surrounded with that. What's up, Byron B? So, yeah, fuck him. He doubled down when he was asked back in July of 2006 to retract his statement. He doubled down saying he was not going to retract it. He would not apologize for his remarks. The ACLU even stated that called it a racist and a civil rights violation. And Strain responded by saying that the ACLU was distorting comments about suspects in the murders of 2 adults and two teenagers from New Orleans in a trailer in Slidell. The suspects were identified as 2 young black men, one with dreadlocks and one with the shorter, tighter curls known as twists. His style was strange compared to locally made cheese curls. He told WDSU-TV that people walking around with dreadlocks or what he called chiwi hairstyles can expect a deputy to visit. Yes, this is racial profiling 101. And it's racist. And the ACLU called him out, even though the ACLU does a lot of stuff for LGBTQ. Now, they're the LGBTQ law front. They're the leftist law front. You know, at one time they used to do great things, but nevertheless, no, I don't know who Ralph Waters is. But he's going to the Chiwi capital. So he'll see plenty of that. And he's going to have a lot to think about for the rest of his life. What you think of that? 6 victims, including 3 being his relatives? That's awful. Yeah, well, you know, Angola is nothing but a big farm. Because Queen and Amadaya and I were talking about it. It's a former plantation. It's just a giant farm. Y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button. So, yeah, I don't have too much to say on that Jack String thing. It is what it is. But, you know, police officers that get caught, I know that's even more difficult for them being in prison. You know, I don't know if they're going to have to put him in a separate population or whatever, but who knows? And I don't know if he's going to be able to appeal anything. And when I haven't followed it, I've heard of it, but I've followed it, but I haven't followed it. And by that, I mean, I don't know all the details and testimony, but I know that what's going on. I've seen the news because they've been outside the courthouse. And that St. Tammany courthouse that they got, that parish courthouse, the Justice Center is what they call it, that is big. Now, let's get into this. I guess I'll stick with the serious news. I want to talk about this real quick. Y'all know that they have now started showing the Ahmaud Arbery trial. And I watched it yesterday. I've been keeping up with it. And if you want, I don't know if anybody's watching, I want you to give me a thumbs up in the comment section. But I've been following it, and it seemed like what the prosecutors were doing, especially yesterday, they had the detective on there, on the stand. He was the last person to testify. They had to go into recess because when the prosecutor started asking him about his body cam footage, he says he can't testify to it because he never looked at it. So they had to adjourn for the day. And I don't know, it looked like the prosecutor was unprepared on that. But now I call it a fiasco because the stuff that's going on, of course, they're trying to portray Ahmaud. The defense is that he was the instigator of all of this and that they were justified in stopping him. But earlier today, this happened where judge, and I watched this just an hour ago, a replay where McMichael's attorney got in trouble with Judge Timothy Walmsley this afternoon over a lack of respect that he showed for the judge and calling the attorney rude. Now, I think this was over some objections that were made, and I'm just going to play this clip. This is courtesy of First Coast News on NBC.
Did you at all get him to draw a map of Socotra Shores for you to kind of explain what he was doing?
We used Google Maps, and then I did a rough sketch myself. He didn't do it.
Okay. Did you draw a map?
I drew the roads as we're looking at them here, and then I will take marks on which way they went.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you have that with you?
Yes, sir.
Did he mark on, or did he just talk to you and you kind of drew lines and asked if this was correct?
He talked to me, and I drew the lines.
Okay. All right. Very good. You did not take him out to the neighborhood to walk it with him or ask him to demonstrate anything to you out in the neighborhood, though, did you?
No, sir.
Okay. I think when you said you saw Travis back in the headquarters?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did not do any interview with him, just saw that he had come down to be interviewed by Investor No Hill. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I think you said when you saw him, he was still covered in blood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. He was just waiting to be interviewed or to be talked to.
He had gotten brought in by Officer Lewis, and when we saw how he presented with his clothing and blood, he asked to be able to clean up. I called Sergeant Oliver and Investigator Lowry, who were down at the scene, and asked them about that. They gave the go-ahead, went and photographed to show the state he was in when he brought up here,
Right.
and then allowed him to change.
Okay. He was, otherwise, he was just very quiet.
Yes, sir.
One of the photographs that you showed us, I want to put it even closer. This right here is an injury to the back of his head. That's after he, let me just rephrase. That's after he's been wiped down with alcohol. Is that correct?
This is after he's been able to clean up, but before I brought the alcohol pad to him at the beginning of Greg McMichael's interview.
Okay.
And I don't know what that actually is. I didn't document what the mark is.
All right. This, all we can say for sure is this is what's left after he's cleaned himself.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's there on the back of his head. And then here's what's left after he's cleaned himself on his front left arm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, do you have any experience with Satilla Shores, the neighborhood itself?
From time on patrol, I've answered a few calls in there and then just rode through on occasion.
Okay. Have you come to learn the makeup of the neighborhood in terms of, like old retirees live there? Are you aware of those kind of details?
I'd be assuming.
Oh, okay. We don't want you to do that. So you've not taken it upon yourself to kind of figure out the age of the people or the families or single people versus married people, that kind of thing?
No, sir. I have the experience with the. I've been in there for 8 calls that Spillman logs, and so I know the
Now, this is the
demographics on those
detective
8
that's
individual
talking.
houses I've been to, and then this case. But past that, I don't know the demographic breakdown, finances, anything like that.
So you yourself have gone to 8 specific calls in that neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
Over 18, 19, and 20?
Since 2015, when we switched over to Spillman system, and I can search Spillman.
Okay.
Spillman.
So we talk a little bit about this system, but essentially there is a system for Glenn County that keeps track of the calls that come in particular areas, all the way down to the address of the call. Okay. And the call type is something that's determined by the operator that takes the call. Is that correct?
Generally, and then it can be changed later. So if something's unfounded and it was listed armed robbery, but it turned out to be a problem with person, the officer can change it later.
Okay.
If appropriate.
All right. And it's essentially just based on what the citizen says that's calling.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, one of the things that we started to talk about was you went into 220 Satilla to take a look around at night.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And because, is it fair to say you did that because Greg McMichael was telling you what he believed Mr. Arbery was doing in that residence?
Yes, sir. And overall for the case, but
right.
Generally,
So
yes, sir.
it's by going there, you are looking to determine or to try to understand that somebody may have entered that dwelling with the intent to take something.
We're going in to get a picture, get an idea of what the structure is, what's inside of it. So all facets, not just that,
Right.
but also, what.
This is what he's trying to do. He's trying to make Ahmad the victim. Now, remember, the owner of that dwelling, that construction site said nothing was taken. And there was video footage of different people that entered into that property. Plus, how did the McMichaels and Roddy Bryan know exactly that Ahmad, if he did, take anything? They couldn't have.
Is there anything obviously stolen? Is there anything obviously not stolen, completely void? But we went in for all those reasons.
Okay. But one of those reasons is to determine if this is a dwelling or a structure that somebody could go in there to steal stuff.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the idea is you've been told about break-ins.
Yes, sir.
That doesn't require something getting broken. You don't have to kick a door or break a window to make a break-in.
No, it's commonly used for just going in, entering. Yeah.
Burglary, don't have to actually steal something. It's just entering with the intent to steal something.
Objection at this time. This is the law the court is going to give the jury to ask this officer, or actually to have Mr. Sheffield testify to what the law is and then ask this officer to agree with it is inappropriate.
Objection inappropriate, I don't think is a legal objection. The reason I'm asking these questions though is because he's investigating and I want to understand the way he's investigating and the decisions that he's making. So I'm asking him to help me understand that he's going in there to determine whether or not a burglary or some type of intent to enter to steal. That's all.
Okay. Well, it's the relevance of defining, that's really the objection. So, well, you don't need to argue with me either. So it's actually sustainable relevance. As the court has already instructed the panel a number of times, the law will be given to you from the court. And again, what lawyers say is not testimony or evidence in the case. Couched in those terms, you can ask him what he thinks, but let's not go ahead and define it for him.
Okay. So when you're trying to, what are you trying to figure out when you've been told that somebody committed a burglary?
Objection. That's not an evidence. Nobody's told him that anybody committed a burglary. And so therefore, especially that day, to ask him about this is facts not an evidence, and counsel's trying to testify.
You were told that somebody committed a burglary, weren't you?
I was told he was going in there repeatedly and break-ins was used, burglaries was used for the neighborhood throughout.
It's sustained because that's Mr. McMichael's statement, and he's already testified that he did not follow up on that. So it's sustained.
Okay. You did not follow up to try to determine if a burglary had been committed at 220?
Objection. Once again, formal question. On what day?
He's already testified to what he did, and you've asked him, it was either you or
Why I'm so confused. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm following.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please take a step outside.
So this is why the judge told him to step outside. He kept interrupting the judge. Never ever do that.
Please do.
Mr. Sheffield,
yes, sir.
You can agree or disagree with this court. That is your prerogative. But to act in the way that you just did in front of this panel, disrespect, I don't care whether you like my rulings or not, or you like me or not, but in this court, the Superior Court, it is axiomatic that counsel show at least respect for what the court is doing. And what you just did shows a lack of respect for what the court is trying to do here, which is create an environment which is fair to all parties. I would suggest that you take a moment to think about that. I'm going to step off the bench because I found that, I'll just call it rude. All right. I have tolerated a number of things in the courtroom, including, flip charts, writing in the middle of, the jury gets distracted when you were doing the flip charts here, jumping up and moving the boards. I would suggest that you temper some of that very quickly because it will not be tolerated in this court. And I will leave it at that. I do not need an explanation. I do not need an apology, none of that. But I would suggest that we take a moment and think about the way that you're reacting to the court's instructions and rulings. We're in recess. Thank you.
So that's why the judge was pissed off.
Now to our coverage of the trial in the death of Ahmaud Arbery.
And we are getting new insight tonight on what the scene looked like right after Ahmaud Arbery was shot and killed.
And I want to talk about this.
I got out of my car and to see what was going on. And I seen two males there in front of me. And I observed a black male laying in the middle of the roadway. and there was he was covered in blood.
That was former Glenn County Police Officer Ricky Minshew. He was the first officer on the scene that day that Arbery was killed.
And he was on the stand for most of the day today. He arrived at the scene within seconds of that shooting. And he explained today why he did not render any sort of medical aid to Arbery. He says he was the only officer on scene and that there was no one there to watch his back. He also did not have any medical gear, he said, beyond a first aid kit. Now, court just wrapped up a few minutes ago. So here are three main takeaways from court today. The first witness was an evidence tech who photographed the crime scene, including Arbery's injuries. Both the state and the defense showed more graphic pictures and video of Arbery lying in the street surrounded by blood. Arbery's father left. He said he chose not to sit in the courtroom as those images were shown, saying that he did not want to be what he said was re-traumatized. Now, Arbery's mother did stay in court today. She could be heard audibly exhaling when those pictures were shown. And those photographs also making some jurors uncomfortable. On your sides, Kaylee Tracy joins us tonight from Brunswick, where she's been covering this trial for the past 3 weeks.
And Kaylee, you asked Arbery's mother about her thoughts on Officer Minshew's testimony.
Anthony and Heather, she tells me that she didn't think his testimony made sense. And she said specifically she was wondering why he didn't help her son when he first got to the scene. Minshew testified that he had heard what he described as a death rattle coming from Arbery, but he said he recognizes someone's last breaths when he got to the scene. When prosecutors asked Minshew again why he didn't give CPR, he again told them he was the only officer there and he didn't know the circumstances about what had occurred. He said he didn't have anyone to watch his back while he gave medical attention to Arbery. Minshew also said he didn't have the proper medical equipment in his patrol car, but did call for EMTs to respond to the scene. Cooper Jones, that's Arbery's mother, was overheard in court saying, quote, he didn't even go over to help.
I understood he had to go and secure the crime scene, but at the same time, he had a guy laying in the middle of the road in a pool of blood. Couldn't really understand why he didn't render aid at that time. I hadn't really put it all together on what he was thinking. It really don't make a lot of sense at this time.
Coming up at 6, I'll tell you what the McMichaels said and did after the shooting. Their defense attorneys say, at least, that shows remorse. That's tonight at 6. For now, reporting live in Brunswick, Kaylee Tracy, First Coast News, on your side.
Now, the most important thing, too, about this case, and through testimony that I've seen, is that the defense, they also have to mention this part, and they didn't in that video, but Travis McMichael, the one who actually shot Ahmaud Arbery, was allowed to go and shower after this happened. They were allowed to leave the crime scene. There's a dead body on the ground in the middle of the street. You have someone admitting that they shot him, and yet they were allowed to leave like nothing had happened. So the whole situation was botched from the beginning. The police officers did everything, in my opinion, to protect these guys. They did not do a proper and thorough investigation into this. They should have. They did not even separate the individuals who were involved, the 3 individuals involved, in order to get their stories. Nothing like that happened. There was no respect shown for Ahmaud Arbery, and had it been reversed, if Ahmaud Arbery were white and Travis McMichael were black, I'm pretty sure in the same situation and circumstances, those 3 men would have been arrested immediately. Roddy Bryan would have been charged at least for false imprisonment for blocking white Ahmaud Arbery for doing that immediately, and the other 2 individuals would have been arrested for murder in the 2nd degree. And they're even saying here, Officer Bradbury said that Greg McMichael, one of the 3 white men on trial for murder in this case, at first told him that Arbery had been recorded by security cameras breaking in all of these houses out here. But then McMichael's account shifted when he spoke with a Glenn County detective at police headquarters later the same day. whereas he'd first blamed the slain man for breaking at multiple houses when Michael told Detective Parker Marcy the intruder had targeted a single home, one that was still under construction with no doors or windows. Originally, they said that he was the one breaking in all these houses and caught him on camera, but that was not the case. And Marcy testified that Michael told him that he had seen 2 or 3 videos that showed this guy breaking into or being or wandering around the house. So, and that's Travis McMichael. That's Judge Walmsley. And y'all could tell that judge was hot. The way that attorney interrupted him. And let me tell you something. One thing you don't do is interrupt the judge when he's speaking. But we're going to continue to go over this and document this trial. I saw that someone said that the Kyle Rittenhouse case, the prosecutor's dropping the ball. I haven't been following that one too much. I hadn't seen what happened lately, but y'all let me know what's going on. But I want to end this on some positive news. I just want to share this last story. I guess if you want to call it positive. California high school apologizes for running up the score. Yes, this happened recently. You're reading that correctly, ladies and gentlemen. Up in Inglewood High School principal Debbie Tate issued a statement on Monday apologizing to Morningside High School, saying the administration will work to ensure the school's football program conducts itself with the highest level of sportsmanship and integrity going forward. The California high school blew out Morningside High School. This was Inglewood High School, blew out Morningside High School in a victory of 106-0 last week. A blowout that drew criticism from the opposing school and a state sports federation for lack of sportsmanship. Tate says we did not conduct ourselves with sportsmanship and integrity, and the final score was unacceptable. The apology came after the Morningside coach Brian Collins told the Los Angeles Times the Inglewood team refused to allow a running clock, even as the team was up 59-0 after the first quarter. Here's my thing for that coach up at Morningside, Brian Collins. I have a question. Shouldn't the problem be with your football team not being able to score, or hell, not even able to stop the other opposing team? There's no mercy rule, exactly. They want to stop blowouts. Tell the Morningside team should cancel their football program. Calling it classless. It's your job to stop me. Everybody knows this. Look, even in the NFL, there have been blowouts. I think the highest scoring NFL game of all time, or the highest blowout, was 72-0. Yeah, get rid of the Morningside football team and start a lacrosse team. Shit. Get some corners. Step y'all game up. That's not you apologizing. This is part of this whole thing where everybody gets a trophy. There are winners and losers in sports, ladies and gentlemen. There are winners and losers in sports, in competition, anything. You're going to have people that place first. You have people that place second. The first prize is the one that gets the grand prize. The others, they may get complimentary prizes, but you got schools now that are giving out trophies for 7th place, for 10th place. We're celebrating mediocrity. Now, it's a part of life. Things happen. You're not going to win all the time. Could they have taken their foot off the gas? I mean, I didn't watch the game, but hell, who knows? You still got to play too. Who knows? They probably ran a few yards and tried to stop and waited for the guys, but hell, the defense was so far back, The guy couldn't wait that long. He had to run back right into the end zone. The running back had to run. Like, I waited about 2 minutes for y'all. Y'all couldn't even catch up then. The points were too much even for the scoreboard. Look at that. They just got 6. But you got people apologizing for that. The problem should be on the opposing football team for putting a disaster out there. This coach, Brian Collins, I'm apologizing to you because I ran up the score. I mean, look, you got to stop me. You know how many times I've been blown? I bowl. I'm an avid bowler. You guys know that. My teams, we've actually had to bowl against opposing teams that will have come into the game with 100-point handicap. Now, what that means, if you're familiar with bowling and handicap, is that if each player, especially based off their average, those that are not exceptionally good, they get extra points, which will help so to keep the game even and lopsided versus if they're playing a team who have no handicap. And if that team that I'm bowling against who has that high handicap and my team who has no handicap, we have to bowl basically well above our average in order to keep them out of the game, to win the game. So I'm bowling not only the handicap, but I also got to bowl them because they could actually do better than what their handicap says. That happens. Just ban the team, exactly. The problem ain't with that team. They're good. Shit, they're going into the NFL. Y'all going to the NFL stadium selling hot dogs and shit. Peanuts. Hit your peanuts. That's where them corners were. But no, I bowled against the handicap, and I mean, you got to actually bowl your ass off in order to win. Now, I've been blown out. We've lost 3 games. Even if I bowl good, my other teammates got to do good. So that happens. I don't go, again, could they have, when you say they ran up the score, it was 56-0 at the end of the first quarter. The game should have been called then. Peanuts, get your peanut. 56-0 at the first quarter. The game should have been called then. That's an he should be apologizing for putting that on the field and I'm not trying to diss them because these are high school kids and they'll learn from this. I hope. I think the lesson will be go to baseball. Go to baseball. There's no running up the score on that. It's so damn slow to watch and follow baseball. In there for 4 hours watching somebody trying to hit a ball over a plate. I don't know how. That's the lesson that those kids can come from that. I'm not good at this. Try and own the NFL team. I'm trying to be respectful because I know it's kids that's in that, but I mean, there's a winner and there's a loser. Did they have to, like I say again, maybe? But here's the thing, though. If they were up like that, if they were up that high, that score was up that high at the first quarter. Let's say they didn't run the clock. What's to stop the other side or anybody else saying, well, you weren't being competitive. They could say you weren't being competitive with them, and you ran, you were allowing them to come back. You were trying to get them to play. The part of sports, and especially combat sports, is that you put the best product on the field, the best team on the field going up against each other to see the talent that they have and which one will do better than the other. Bottom line. Get your beer. I could do a whole material on that. I got my inspiration to write some new jokes. I'm gonna go to the comedy club tomorrow and do that. Peanuts, get your peanuts. Hot beer, 15 for hot beer. Bud White, get your Bud Light. Yeah, you didn't compete. You gave this to me. They could complain about that. So I don't blame the school. I mean, yeah, was it too much? Yeah, okay, I agree. But I think it was even worse that those guys were playing, that the opposing team didn't show up either. Shit. They probably couldn't even, if they were allowing that team to score like that, even if the score was much closer, they would have lost. Just telling me they didn't show up to play. If they allowed it 106-0, you didn't score no points. In the NFL, the biggest blowout was the Washington Redskins versus the New York Giants back in the 1940s. And I believe it was 72-0. And no, I'm sorry. It was let me see if I got this right. It was the Bears versus the Redskins. I apologize. 73-0. That's the largest defeat, largest margin of defeat in NFL history. And that was in 1940, December 8, 1940. Well, I guess these guys could be professionals because they did better than the pros back in the day. But damn, 106-0. That's awful. But look, y'all. Shit, who knows? Tina, the second string. Who knows? The other 50 points could have been the second string, Tina. If it was 56-0 and he sat all of his starters out, if the second string came in, oh, you know that motherfucker's gonna be in the draft. You put up 50 points in 3 quarters. Oh yeah, I'm drafting you. Not even a field goal. Nothing. But let me get up out of here, guys. Yeah, but y'all check out, of course, our website, Naughty'sCreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Naughty's goes great with every dish. Guys, if you could, please donate to the Cash App. It's Gavin Richard Esquire, Gavin Richard Esquire. If you love this channel, you love this platform, you love what I do, we do this every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. Shout out, I saw Butterflies contributed. Thank you. Anybody else can contribute. I'd appreciate it. We will have Sean James back on this Thursday. The book that we are talking about, of course, the trailer for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr. That will be available this fall. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to please go to the Facebook page right here and check out our trailer, but also the book to stay in touch with me with regards to when it will be available. Stay tuned for the latest news and alerts and messages about it. It would be pleasant if you could do that. Let me go ahead and just play the trailer for you all because I forgot to actually do this when I was coming in. That's funny. Mary hasn't even told. Nicole posted this, shouted out to her. She said, "No to all premature Christmas decorators. Calm down, Mary. Hasn't even told Jesus Joseph. Haven't told Joseph she's pregnant." I don't know about y'all, but I love Christmas time, man. It puts people in a feel good mood, and especially those that want to make money off the holidays. But this is the Facebook page. Go here, Commonwealth Cause book. Just type that in, Commonwealth Cause, COMMWEALTH. Subscribe and like that page, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm gonna play the trailer before we get out of here. This is the trailer for our book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr. Let me go ahead and play that right quick for everybody, since I didn't play it earlier. Hold on. The destruction of due process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jell-O, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn the attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of conduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Unwarranted. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format. Yeah, all right. That is a trailer for the book. Again, we're going to be playing it all this week, especially as we get ready to release the book. I'll let you all know when it's available. So go to this Facebook page, Commonwealth Cause. That way you can actually see when the book will be released. Thank you, Darius, for your donation. Brother Darius from Atlanta. That brother is always there. Always here every night. Always there, support me. Appreciate it, man. I got more music I'm going to be working on too. It's hard, a little hard for me trying to, it's hard, but it can be, I manage it. Working my 9 to 5, doing this, then doing stand-up, and then writing books. But I just managed. So I would say 2021 has been a productive year for me. I got more music that I'm going to be working on and hopefully can release actually before the end of this year. So y'all keep on the lookout for that. And speaking of music, ladies and gentlemen, you can also check out Video Soul, which is on Amazon, Spotify, and iTunes. I want you to please go there and check that out. And of course, as we close the show out, we always got to get on up, ladies and gentlemen, because as we have gotten on down, it is time to get on up. You make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Hit the notification bell, especially when we go live. And I will be talking about various topics of Random Topic Thursdays, which is our main show every Thursday night at 8, or otherwise, unless I'm not able to attend, we bring on Brother Sean James and we discuss various topics from, I don't know exactly what we'll talk about. We'll find something, but all the latest trending topics in politics, mainstream media, pop culture, anything that you can think of, we will go in and discuss that. But you all be safe, be blessed. I will be back Thursday with our brother Sean James. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, y'all get on up. I'll holla. Love you. Peace. And rest in peace to that football program out in California. That in high school. That, whew. The Inglewood High School football team, they are welcome to play for the Saints. We need, and the Lord knows we need receivers. We need receivers and we need cornerbacks. That other team, they can go sell. I don't know. Y'all think I should? I'm gonna stop messing with them. They've suffered enough, literally. They've lost the Bifrost. They got 106 problems and a kicker ain't one. All right, good night.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Those players needed steroids. I'll just say it, high school players, they need steroids. I'll get off. I won't talk about it no more. Tonight at least. All right, y'all. Good night.